When night falls and your body finally rests, a deeper part of you awakens. Edgar Cayce, often called the sleeping prophet, spoke often about the mysteries of the soul and the hidden dimensions we travel during sleep. For Cayce, sleep was never only a physical pause. It was not just the body recovering from the day. It was an opportunity for the soul to step outside the limits of the physical world and to touch dimensions most of us barely glimpse in our waking lives. He described sleep as a portal, a natural doorway into realms where the soul sees truth more clearly than the waking mind can ever hold. According to Cayce, what the soul actually sees while we sleep may be more revealing than anything we perceive with open eyes. He explained that when the body grows quiet, the soul remains fully awake. It does not slumber. Instead, it journeys. In these journeys, the soul may review the events of the day, but in a deeper way than memory alone. It may see the ripple of each thought, each choice, each emotion. It may trace how a simple act of kindness moves outward, or how a harsh word leaves echoes that return. The soul observes these ripples with clarity, as if holding them in a higher light. Cayce taught that this nightly review is one reason we often wake with subtle feelings, either peaceful or unsettled, without knowing why. It is the soul reminding us of the hidden weight of our daily choices. But beyond reviewing, the soul travels further. Cayce described how in sleep, the soul may wander into what he called the spiritual realms, layers of existence beyond the physical. Here, one may encounter symbols, landscapes, or presences that reflect higher truths. Dreams may only give fragments of this, painted in images or emotions. Yet the soul perceives directly. It may see its own past, not only this life, but other incarnations still woven into its growth. It may touch scenes of ancient times, or find itself in settings that feel both strange and familiar. These are not always fantasies. Cayce believed they are glimpses of the long journey of the soul across lifetimes. At times, the soul is shown unfinished lessons. These lessons may come in symbols or feelings that seem confusing. A dream of being lost, for example, may mirror where the soul feels uncertain or out of harmony. A dream of searching for someone may reflect the soul's longing for reconciliation. Cayce said the soul uses sleep to show us what we have not yet healed, what remains unresolved. In this way, sleep becomes a classroom, and the images of dreams are teaching tools. They remind us gently, and sometimes urgently, of the spiritual work still before us. And then, there are moments when the soul glimpses its greater potential. Cayce explained that in the silence of sleep, the soul may see not just where it has been, but what it can become. A dream of soaring, of flying, of light flooding the body, may not only be imagination, it can be a glimpse of spiritual freedom. A vision of meeting a wise guide or teacher may represent higher aspects of our own soul or a connection to beings that guide us. Such dreams Cayce saw as encouragements, showing us the growth that lies ahead if we choose the path of love and truth. Perhaps most profound, Cayce suggested that during deep sleep, the soul sometimes remembers its divine origin. These are rare moments, often beyond words, where the soul touches the source itself, the creator, the living presence from which it came. Such visions may leave only a trace upon waking, a sense of peace, a feeling of vastness, or tears of joy without knowing why. Yet Cayce believed these moments strengthen us more than anything else. They remind the soul of what is real and eternal. For Cayce, sleep was not escape, it was connection. It was the bridge between worlds. The soul never ceases its journey, and while the body lies still, the soul explores, heals, and learns. He urged us not to dismiss our dreams as meaningless. Instead, he encouraged us to listen to them, to honor them as reflections of the soul's nightly vision. Each dream, each fragment of symbol, carries a message from this deeper level of being. By paying attention, we open ourselves to guidance, healing, and awakening. So tonight, as you lie down and close your eyes, remember that you are not simply drifting into nothingness. You are beginning a journey. Your soul is watching, learning, remembering. It may show you echoes of your past. It may offer you images of lessons still unfolding. It may reveal your highest potential or remind you of your eternal home. All of this while your body rests. Edgar Cayce's work reminds us that the mystery of sleep is not about forgetting, but about remembering who we truly are. If you enjoy reflections like these, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It helps us continue exploring these deeper questions together in a mindful way. When Edgar Cayce spoke about the journeys of the soul during sleep, he often emphasized that the veil between the physical and the spiritual is thinnest at night. In waking life, we are distracted by duties, noise, and the endless pull of physical needs. But in sleep, those distractions fall away. The body grows still, the mind softens, and the soul slips more easily into the realms where truth is revealed. Cayce described these realms not as faraway heavens, but as dimensions of vibration. Each soul, depending on its growth and intent, is drawn to the level where it resonates. Some nights, the soul may linger close to the physical, reviewing the day. Other nights, it may rise to luminous realms where learning and healing take place in light. The difference lies not only in chance, but in how we live and what we seek. He warned that not all journeys are uplifting. A soul burdened by fear, anger, or selfishness may find itself visiting shadowed places, environments shaped by its own unresolved energies. These are the dreams that feel heavy or dark, the ones that leave us unsettled when we wake. Yet even these, Cayce explained, are not punishments. They are reflections. They show us clearly what we carry within, so that we might recognize it and change. Just as a mirror shows the dust on the face, these inner journeys reveal the stains on the soul. They are chances to awaken, to choose differently, to cleanse ourselves through forgiveness, compassion, and humility. For those who open themselves with love and sincerity, the journeys of sleep can become luminous. Cayce told of souls who, in the quiet of night, encountered loved ones who had passed from this world. He described such meetings not as fantasy, but as genuine soul-to-soul contact in higher planes. These encounters often leave behind dreams of warm reunions, of conversations with the departed, or of being held in light. They comfort us because they are real in the language of the soul. The boundary of death is no barrier in these dimensions. The soul is free to visit, to be visited, and to know that love never ends. Cayce also spoke of higher councils or assemblies, where souls gather during sleep for instruction. In these realms, the lessons are not of books and words, but of direct knowing. The soul is reminded of its purpose, shown images of service, or impressed with new strength to carry into waking life. Often, upon waking, we may not remember these counsels clearly. Instead, we rise with a fresh resolve, a sudden clarity, or a quiet strength we cannot explain. Cayce insisted these were the fruits of nocturnal learning. Our higher self absorbs them, even if the conscious mind forgets. An important teaching from Cayce was that the soul is never idle. Whether in waking or sleeping, it is always becoming, always shaping itself in relation to the divine pattern. Sleep, therefore, is not wasted time. It is essential for the soul's education. Just as children attend school to grow in knowledge, so do souls attend nightly lessons to grow in wisdom. The symbols of dreams are like homework assignments. They may confuse us at first, but if we study them, if we reflect upon them, the meaning unfolds. A staircase in a dream may represent rising to new understanding. A river may symbolize the flow of life and change. A locked door may show us where we resist growth. Each symbol is part of the soul's curriculum. Cayce urged us to approach sleep with intention. Before closing the eyes, he suggested a simple practice: to offer a prayer or a sincere thought, asking for guidance, clarity, or healing. By doing so, we align the soul's nightly journey with a higher purpose. He said the questions we carry into sleep often shape the answers we receive. If we ask for patience, we may dream of situations that test and teach patience. If we ask for healing, we may awaken with a shift in energy or insight into what needs release. Sleep becomes not passive, but active participation in our spiritual unfolding. He explained further that the body itself benefits from this alignment. The soul, during sleep, brings patterns of harmony back into the physical form. In the higher realms, it remembers the perfect blueprint of health and balance. When allowed to, it impresses these patterns upon the cells, restoring vitality. Cayce saw this as one reason why a peaceful mind before sleep leads to deeper rest and better healing. The soul, unburdened by turmoil, can freely carry its restorative energies back to the body. Thank you for reflecting with me. If you have not yet, please consider subscribing and sharing your own dream experiences in the comments. It helps this community grow and encourages others on the same mindful path. Cayce often reminded seekers that the soul's nightly journeys are not random. They are purposeful, and they are shaped both by our inner condition and by the choices we make during waking hours. What you carry into sleep, you carry into those realms. A heart weighed down with resentment will draw images of struggle. A mind opened in gratitude will rise more easily into light. He described the process as natural law, much like gravity. The soul is pulled toward the vibration it creates. In this way, sleep becomes a mirror of the life we are living while awake. This is why Cayce emphasized forgiveness and compassion as daily practices. He explained that when we release anger before sleep, when we choose peace instead of bitterness, we make the journey lighter. The soul is then free to rise into realms of harmony, where deeper truths can be revealed. By contrast, if we go to bed clinging to hostility, our dreams may reflect the shadows of those emotions. They become lessons shown in images, designed not to punish, but to awaken us. Cayce saw every dream, even the difficult ones, as an invitation to grow. Another striking insight from his readings is that many souls, during sleep, return to what he called the records of time. These are the Akashic records, the great memory of all experience. In this dimension, the soul may glimpse not only its own past, but the broader patterns of humanity. Sometimes this comes as a symbolic dream, like standing in a vast library or walking through endless halls of knowledge. At other times, it may feel like déjà vu upon waking, as though we had touched something ancient yet familiar. Cayce insisted that the Akashic records are real, and that each soul carries its own chapter within them. When the soul sees these records, it remembers both the weight of its past and the possibilities of its future. He explained that this access is not given for curiosity alone. It comes for healing, for insight, for the soul to recognize the threads weaving through many lifetimes. Perhaps you dream of a place you have never visited, yet it feels like home. Perhaps you meet a stranger in a dream, and the bond feels deeper than chance. These may be memories surfacing, reminders of unfinished stories seeking resolution. Cayce urged people not to dismiss them. He said that the soul uses these glimpses to nudge us toward growth, toward healing the past, and choosing wisely in the present. Cayce also spoke about the presence of guides and teachers who meet the soul during sleep. These are not always recognized in dreams, yet they impress wisdom upon the deeper mind. Sometimes they appear as a familiar figure, other times as a voice, a symbol, or even a radiant light. Their purpose is to assist, not to control. They offer direction suited to the needs of the individual. A person seeking courage may dream of climbing a mountain and finding the summit. A person needing gentleness may dream of being surrounded by calm waters. These are not just stories. They are guided experiences, shaping the soul in ways the waking mind may only faintly sense. In some cases, Cayce said, the soul in sleep may even leave its body consciously. This is the experience often described as astral travel. One may feel as if floating above the body, seeing the room, or moving through spaces with astonishing clarity. While many dismiss these as hallucinations, Cayce affirmed them as genuine. The soul, being not bound by flesh, can indeed step beyond it while the body rests. These moments can be transformative, leaving the dreamer with a profound certainty that we are more than our physical form. For Cayce, such experiences were glimpses of truth, reminding us that consciousness survives beyond death. Perhaps most beautifully, he taught that the soul in sleep seeks reunion. Not only reunion with loved ones or with teachers, but reunion with the source itself. He described this as a homecoming, an embrace so vast that words fall short. When the soul touches that light, even for a moment, it returns with peace. We may not recall the vision, yet we awaken calmer, steadier, more centered. This, Cayce believed, was the greatest gift of sleep, that each night we are offered a chance to remember the divine spark within us. He encouraged everyone to honor these gifts. Keep a notebook by the bed. Write down fragments of dreams, even if they seem scattered. Over time, patterns reveal themselves. Symbols repeat, guidance deepens, connections form. The soul is speaking, not in the language of logic, but in the language of spirit. By paying attention, we slowly learn to translate. We begin to see how the nightly visions tie into our daily lives. We discover that nothing is wasted. Every dream, every symbol, every stirring. If this exploration resonates with you, please subscribe and share your reflections in the comments. Your experiences may be the key that helps another soul recognize their own journey. Before we begin, if you found value in these reflections, consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. It helps us share these insights with more people who may need them. As we bring this journey to a close, let's pause and consider what it all means. Each of us is walking through life, carrying fragments of many stories, moments of joy, sorrow, triumph, and loss. The soul's journey is not simply about moving forward, but about deepening. Every step is a chance to become more aligned with what has always been within us. Sometimes we feel a quiet recognition, almost as if life is whispering, "You've been here before." These moments are not about repeating the past, but about remembering the timeless lessons we are meant to embody. When we honor these insights, we stop living reactively and begin living consciously. The more aware we become, the more gracefully we can let go of cycles that no longer serve us. One of the most powerful realizations is that closure is not an ending, it is a transition. We often think of final lifetimes as some grand finale, but the soul doesn't measure things in such absolutes. Rather, it measures growth in compassion, in wisdom, in the ability to give without needing to receive, and in the courage to forgive where forgiveness once seemed impossible. You may find that old conflicts lose their weight. Resentments that once clung to you may simply fall away. People who once mirrored your deepest wounds may now mirror your inner peace. This is not coincidence. It is a sign that your spirit has been integrating what it came to learn. The closing chapters of a soul's earthly path are not about withdrawal, they are about presence. They are about showing up fully in the moment with clarity and love, even if life continues to present challenges. Think of it like a candle. Its flame is not diminished by giving light. In fact, the closer it comes to the end of its wax, the more its warmth is felt by those nearby. If you've resonated with these ideas, it may be because your soul recognizes something familiar. Perhaps you are nearing the completion of an important cycle. Or perhaps you are simply becoming more awake to the continuity of existence beyond this single lifetime. Either way, your awareness is not an accident, it is a gift. So let your days become an offering. Let every act of kindness, no matter how small, ripple outward. Let every challenge be a chance to embody patience and understanding. And let every breath remind you that you are part of a larger story that is both ancient and eternal. As we close this reflection, take a moment to sit with your own heart. Ask yourself not what you should be doing, but who you are becoming. That is the true compass of the soul. Thank you for walking this path with me. If these words have spoken to you, I invite you once again to like this video and subscribe so we can continue sharing in these conversations together. Until next time, may you walk with peace, courage, and the quiet knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be.